We have talked quite a bit about the opt-out movement in New York, and I've been a critic of parents stopping the kids from taking standardized tests. And so far, more than 150,000 students have skipped them. And those numbers, they're increasing with math tests being given this week. Now, let me be clear. I know these tests aren't perfect, but even though they are imperfect, I disagree with the remedy, which is how some of these parents, or many of these parents, are handling this situation. I think it sends a bad message to kids, tell them skip something just because either they don't like the test or they think the test is too hard. Also, parents, I think in many cases, using kids as pawns here in this debate. And if they want changes made, and I advocate that if you want to strongly push for those changes, you should do it through the legislature. This didn't come out of thin air. Everybody knew these tests were coming, but it all of a sudden seemed in the 11th hour the hue and cry got all ramped up. Now, my opinions are not universally shared, and quite a few of you are fired up. People who sounded off on our Facebook page disagree with me, I would say, running at least 2-1. We asked them if it's irresponsible for parents to push kids to opt out, and I'll give you just a sampling of a couple of the responses. Ken Nolan says, standardized testing should be done away with. I've seen good students get frustrated with a test, put their heads down and cry. He is a retired teacher. Patricia Schmidt also wrote saying, too much time is spent teaching tests instead of teaching materials. And these folks seem to have allies when it comes to Albany. Right now, the legislature, they're considering bills that would allow parents to let their kids opt out. I kept the polite ones in there, but there was other really well thought out ones from people with experience in the classroom, which I don't have, telling me all the problems with it. And I agree with that. But I just have a problem because people act like all of a sudden in April, they said, hey, next week, we're giving these tests here. People are like, what the heck is going on? And we knew this train was coming for the whole year. And now all of a sudden everybody's doing this. And I just feel people are playing games, U of T included, and kids are basically the chess pieces that are getting moving back and forth.
Well, everybody's going to look out for their own political interests.
But
from
using
the UFT.
kids to do it, that's big cheese.
But Richard, I think it's a good thing. Parents have a right to decide what they want to do with their children.
How are they helping? No, just tell me, how in the end, forget the politics, okay? And I know it's all politics, Tom, but tell me in the end how they're helping their kids by keeping them home.
Well, part of me says that perhaps they should take the exam, that you shouldn't take the easy way out. But the parents are the final authority with their own kids. And
I didn't say they couldn't do it. Tell me how it's helping them by keeping them home.
Well, for one, they're not frustrated, ready to bang their head on the table, sitting there in front of an exam where their self-esteem is going lower than the table.
So every time there's a hard test for them, they should just stay home and not bang their head on the table because tests are hard?
No. We agree that as you go through life, you're going to have to go through tests. But, Richard, parents, one of the number one jobs is to protect your children.
Absolutely.
And if you feel your kids are being tested unfairly, that they're learning to a test, and that they're only going to be frustrated for 2 or 3 hours sitting there.
I know you're playing devil's advocate with me. My only point to this is 100% I agree with you. You and me parents here, first job, you protect your kids at all costs. I don't believe I'm protecting my kid from shielding my child from reality. And secondly, if I want to give my kid a better chance to have a better school, a better teacher to educate them with, I need some standards to measure it. Is it a perfect standard? Absolutely not. Is it unfair to certain teachers?
But it's not.
Absolutely.
But
if my school ain't cutting it, I want to know.
But Richard, that standard is not measuring the child. It's only being used for the teacher.
I still don't say, and the school, okay? To me, I'm still waiting on that magic answer. How's this going to help fix the problem?
I'm opting out of this conversation.
Oh, don't you?
Look, I think one of the big flaws is what Patricia said, which is they spend too much time teaching the test. And I've said this before, they already did that. So keeping the kids home isn't changing that. Change the law, get involved, but keeping your kids home, it's protecting them.
But they are getting involved by keeping their kids home.
Somebody's going to get tested and they're going to have a bruised ego, or they're not going to be able to function in society.
School, have you ever sat for an exam where you knew absolutely nothing that was on that exam?
Yeah, it was called college.
You got a point there.
And by the way, I'd love to see how many parents get their kids home. Also went to all the parent-teacher conferences. That'll get really bad.
That's a good point.
Thanks for rocking the red.
They will continue this conversation. Now, school kids learn about history and science, but they're not really taught about developing emotional and social skills. When we come back, this has nothing to do with politics or even testing or whatever. This is about a really powerful conversation with a woman who is pushing for that to be included, and she's doing it in the honor of her son who was killed at Sandy Hook.